situation where you're under fire, you need to get some information. And so all this is doing is just gathering log files from a remote system. So basically going out, getting all the logs from var log, and then using and bringing them back locally with the fetch module. And the nice part about the fetch module is that it's going to break it down by each host in their own subdirectory, so it's going to make it easy to parse. And again, this is in the situation where you may not be using Tower or you don't have a logging aggregator that you're sending things to, but this is just a really handy, quick, like, I got to get some logs. So let me demo this. I keep on going back. I'm so silly. Okay. All right, so sorry, I forget. Yep, okay, get logs. All right, so yep, same task here. I'm going to target my whole lab, which is 4 hosts, and I'm going to go ahead and bring them back to my local machine. So I'm just going to run this. And all of that output is, I did run this before, but all of that output is some of the changes showing new logs that I'm actually gathering right now and bringing back. And everything went through successfully. So now, in this directory, I have a logs directory, and you can see here lab 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I can go in there by var log and get everything that I need. And actually, so this is from the command line. But from Tower, oh, there will be more Christmas. I just want everybody, first of all, I'm like, nobody's even saying anything. I've got this sloth sweater up here. I've got ornament earrings on. There will be tons of Christmas to come. But first, let me just log in here. So this is Tower, and I also have a template to do the same thing to gather logs, except this time I'm gathering them against my Azure inventory. And I'm actually, if you noticed here, I'm using an instance group named Seattle, which is actually an ISO node that I've deployed in a different region, which is nice. So it's a headless Tower installation that is not the full utility, but I can basically designate certain jobs to it and let it do its thing. And so I'm going to do that here. Same thing, except I actually updated. I was a good citizen and updated that playbook to use the loop keyword instead of the with items. I try to keep stuff up to date, but you get lazy sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to run this. Okay. And it takes a second to start because I'm doing an inventory update right before to make sure that no changes have been made to my inventory prior to running. It always does a project update to make sure that I'm at the latest revision in my project. And then it goes out and it actually runs the playbook against those target nodes. And the thing is that it's because it's an isolated node and it's elsewhere, it kind of all comes back in a chunk. So it takes a little bit. And while it's working, I'm going to stare at all of you awkwardly. So I hope that's okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. And so so basically it's dissimilar to other Tower jobs in the sense that the output does not come as it's happening. It basically all gets sent back to me in a big giant chunk, and which is all of this stuff here. Getting lots of stuff because I've got a bunch of boxes. Okay. All right, back over. Okay, internal standards. So what if somebody says, hey, you got to change the root password every 60 days? Well, this is similar to the Mac OS task before. It's the same thing. We're going to be changing the root password. And both of the root password and the root password salts are variables. And I'm actually going to demo this. So this is, let me get out of, I swear there's got to be a better way to transition. All right, I'll go out of this. Okay, so change your password, same thing. In this case, my target host is a variable, but it defaults to Linux. Great, I'm not gonna mess with it. I could pass a different variable in. My root password salt is set here within the playbook. New root password is still a variable, so I actually have to pass it when I go and run this from the command line. Now, I don't recommend doing this as an extra var because it's right out there in the open, but you can also vault it in a file, and that would work too. So, and I'm just going to pass it. And this time I'm going to do Go Bills because that's important always to indicate. Okay, yay, it's done. So now I can go in there and the root password is Go Bills. It doesn't matter because they're still going to lose every week and break my heart. But that's how it is. Actually, fun fact, I did go to a Bills backer bar when I got in here on Sunday, and it was rowdy. But $5 for all you can eat buffalo wings after you paid the cover charge. So I went to town. Blue cheese, the whole nine, had to do it. Okay. So that is from the command line, but from Tower you have a cool thing called surveys with the password type that you can actually encrypt, that's actually encrypted when you run it. So change the root password. I've got my inventory set to prompt on launch. I've got my credentials set to prompt on launch because I may not want to use the ones I've already selected. And I'm just going to go ahead and run this. Let me just save that. Okay. So then it's going to hit me right here with all those prompts. So I'm going to target Azure, and it's going to prompt me for the password. Okay, and then it's going to pass it as an extra var because that's how surveys work in Tower, but it's going to show as encrypted, so I can't see it. Nobody else can, which is really nice. And then I'm just going to launch the job. And again, project update, inventory update. You don't have to set those. All right, we're getting started here, running. Gathering some facts. All right. Yay, successful. Okay. Perfect. So that would be how you would do it from Tower.